Medicine. No change in battle rating but reduced horizontal recoil. Finally! There was a huge issue with the medicine, if I'll be honest. Kirali 39M going down to battle rating 4. If I'll be perfectly honest, as much as I like the damage per second the Kirali 39M have over the SCG 44s, yeah, I feel like the Kirali 39M is just getting overshadowed by one of the guns before it, and then the machine carbines immediately after. So going down to battle rating 4 is definitely welcome, it's going to be cheaper to use. Panzer 4H going from battle rating 4 to battle rating 3, yep, you finally got my memo. Panzer 3 and going up to battle rating 3. Darkflow, why? M1 A1000 going down to battle rating 2. Guys, is the Lancaster not enough? Oh my lord. So, War Thunder has some battle rating changes for some of the vehicles, and apparently so did Enlisted. And truth to be told, I actually did this last night, but I ended up hating the results of what I was doing. So decided to give this one more try, as well as, you know, let Darkflow make some of the minor error corrections here and there. But either way, I'm just going to go through the different changes that is going to happen in the coming update, give you my thoughts on the changes, and of course later on, why not along the way just talk about the coming update as well. So starting us off with the Soviet Union, the RD-44 is getting a dispersion reduced when moving and shooting. I'm not exactly sure you meant by walking and moving, walking and firing. I'm not too sure if this is such a good idea considering the fact that the massive spread cone when you're using the RD-44 is the reason why the RD-44 is not the most overpowered thing ever. And the reason why I say that is because the RD-44 is basically a machine gun that doesn't have any recoil whatsoever. So it's a bit of a not too overpowered and turn you into a T-800 Terminator. The massive spread cone is what's actually making it like not so overpowered. Feather off the mod, damage plus 10%. Let's see if we actually need more damage, if I'll be honest. Like, it's already a one-shot gun and it's a gun that you fire in bursts, so... I mean, give us another reason why nobody is using the AS-44 nearly as much. AVT-40 and AVS-36, no changes in the battle rating, but reduced in visual recoil. I'm guessing this means that whenever you fire, the animation of the misaligning of the iron sights is getting reduced. I'm guessing that's what they mean. PPD-40 going down to battle rating 4. Well, firstly, how often do you actually get battle rating 4, battle rating 3 matches when you're playing battle rating 4? Not really that often, so I don't really see the big change in this. I mean, the good news is that it's definitely cheaper to buy an upgrade. In the end, I still don't think it's really going to make any difference because a lot of players, I have a feeling, are going to use either the PPSH-41 stick magazine and battle rating 3, or the PPD-34, 38 and battle rating 4, upgrade those, skip the PPD-40 and grind out on battle rating 4, and some of the early weapons in battle rating 5, and go for the PPSH-41 drum magazine and battle rating 5. So if that's the case, yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to use the PPD-40 anyway. I hope at least Darkflow makes it a optional grind, if anything. SU-85M going on battle rating 4, S1, IS-1 going on battle rating 4. What else is new? SU-85 maybe is a big deal, but IS-1, not really. You're still going to face Panthers regardless. Medicine, yes, reduce horizontal recoil. Thank you so much for that. This is the biggest reason why nobody is using the Medicine machine gun nearly as much. Because you see, if I had to describe machine guns, some of the machine guns like the Type 99, Type 96, Brand Mark 1, Brand Mark 2, Vickers Berthier, Medicine light machine gun, I would say that they're kind of in between the auto rifles like the Browning automatic rifle, the KE7, the MG13. In between the auto rifles and the general purpose machine guns like the Maxim Tokarev, the M1919A6, the MG34. So it's kinda in between, like, it does have slightly better offensive capabilities, but it's a lot better in holding down doorways or mowing down squads. But unfortunately, in comparison with all the other weapons, the Medicine really falls short. I think the biggest reason is the horizontal recoil. Like 30 points horizontal recoil, like give me a fucking break, man. PTRS going down to battle rating 1. Darkflow, I don't think that's such a good idea, considering how people actually use the PTRS. Mosin M9130 rifle and the Mosin M44 carbine going down to battle rating 1. I mean, it's definitely welcome, especially the M44 carbine. Because if I'll be honest though, I don't really like the early Mosin carbines, like the M1907 Mosin carbine and the M91 Dragoon. I am not very fond of those rifles' front sights at all. If I'm going around battle rating 1 and battle rating 2 using protection rifles, I would use the 1938 carbine. At least with the iron sights, I can see what I'm doing. 1844 increase in rate of fire. I mean, this kind of puts it on par with the STG 44 and all that. But yeah, it's only the event, so I don't expect everybody to have it. PPK 42 is from an event squad and you only have one extra magazine. Oh, okay, whatever. PPSH 45 going down to battle rating 4. Again, I don't really see the real difference in this, but I wonder if Darkflow is doing this because they want to try and get people to use the PPSH 45, but in the end, it's basically PPSH 41 but with a folding stock, and that's about it. Like visual wise, it's different, but performance wise, not really. Maybe the PPSH 45 has a worse horizontal recoil, but battle rating 4 and battle rating 5, you're gonna be playing in the Berlin campaign more often than usual, and that means close quarters house to house fighting, and that means having good accuracy and range is not really the number one priority. Okay, next up Germany. Youngest 188A2 going up to battle rating 5. Firstly, what else is new? Secondly, I'm really not surprised. Kirali 39M going from battle rating 5 to battle rating 4. Okay, so I'm okay with this change because if I'll be honest, the Kirali 39M is just getting overshadowed by the ZH383 all the way as the first tier 4 submachine gun you get, as well as immediately afterwards is the machine carbines. Like, there's a good reason why you don't really see a lot of players using the Kirali 39M. It's definitely worth using more as well as in terms of upgrade as well. Okay, so there was a bit of confusion the last time I did this. For some reason, they say this thing is going up to battle rating 5. Like, Beretta M30A 40 rounds, battle rating 5. Like, why? Like, I remember talking about the Beretta M30A 40 rounds and I was pretty sure that it doesn't really deserve to be in battle rating 4 because why would I use this in battle rating 4 when there's like the ZK383 and battle rating 3, and in comparison with the other submachine guns, the Beretta M30A is basically PPS 42 but in 2 times higher in battle rating and tier. So yeah, it's just way more expensive unnecessarily. And I feel like the Beretta M30A should really deserve to be in battle rating 3 and not battle rating 4. Pencil 4H going down to battle rating. Yes, Darkflow has finally got my memo. As to why is this thing in battle rating 4? Really makes no sense. We have 110G2 going up to battle rating 4. Another plane that doesn't really surprise me at all. Auto cannons and giant rockets that this thing has. Yeah. Beretta M38, 42, going from battle rating 3 to battle rating 2. Yes, this is another good change because why the fuck is this thing in battle rating 3 when I can just play the M1 and battle rating 2? It really makes no sense. I mean, like, sure, in comparison with the Beretta M1, if you upgrade the M3842, it has a more controllable horizontal recoil. So if it was a battle rating 3, yeah, I'm just going to use the Beretta M1. Thank you very much. But yes, going down to battle rating 2, one thing I will say though, I hope that the Beretta M38 and 42 is at least a optional grind to the Beretta M1. Otherwise, it's just going to be another weapon that players has to grind in order to progress. Panzer 3N going out to battle rating 3. Darkflow, why? It's already bad enough that it's the last tank in battle rating 2. Now you are telling me this thing is going up to battle rating 3? Add better heat. Yes, firstly, I hope there is more heat shells than high explosive, and it really need to be better. Because if you're going to put this thing in battle rating 3, it's going to be facing T-34s, KV-1s, and Shermans. Way more than it used to. IRA 81C going up to battle rating 2. Honestly, one is that it doesn't really, I don't think there's that big of a difference, but honestly, I think battle rating 1 is already good enough because this plane is a little bit chunky. Like, it locks up a lot whenever you're flying this thing. So going up to battle rating 2 doesn't really make sense. Battle rating 1 is already like balanced enough. Like, sure, it has two 20mm MG151s, yes. One big 250kg shells and two smaller 150kg shells, but I wouldn't go as far as to say this thing is OP. MP3008 going down to battle rating 1. Okay, so definitely a good change because in comparison with the MP34, the MP3008 is actually a more expensive gun, a more expensive MP34. Now it's going down to battle rating 1. I mean, sure, you can use it if you want. It definitely has a better stability when talking about stock performance, but battle rating 1 weapons doesn't really require so much silver to get to tier 2 upgrades, so If that's the case, I think people will just stick to the MP34, especially since the MP3008 has a much worse iron sights. Akano M1891 going down to Predator 81. What else is new? Okay, Gaijin, I see what you are fucking doing. STG-45M going down to Battle Rating 4, along with the Kiralit 43M going down to Battle Rating 4. I see what you're doing, Gaijin. I see what you are fucking doing. Okay, moving up. USA. M1928 A1 Thompson 15 rounds. Reduce horizontal recoil. Okay. I also see another one below. They're definitely buffing the Thompsons, which is definitely going to be a huge welcome. And especially horizontal recoil, I feel like that's the biggest reason as to why a lot of players struggle to use the Thompsons or any other machine guns that have a very massive spread cone. So reducing the horizontal recoil in terms of base stats is definitely welcome. In 1996, increase in sprint factor, okay. Just like every other like machine guns. M1C Garen going down to battle rating 4, yes, okay. So if anybody's wondering, this is the sniper M1 Garen. Why is it in battle rating 5? Really makes no sense. Like if anything, if it's the T20 with a mounted scope, then yes, that one would be in battle rating 5. And definitely not the M1 Garen. And for A276 going down to battle rating 4. Again, what else is new? You'll be facing Panthers and Tigers. In the tank, whose armor hasn't changed since battle rating 3. Send news for that guy. M10 GMC, yes. There's a particularly good reason why the M10 tank destroyer wasn't really used nearly as much, because battle rating 4 you'll be facing Panthers a lot more often than usual. In a tank that is open top, meaning that basically anything that has high explosive will just take this thing out with one shot. Doesn't matter if it's a penetration or not. M1A1 Thompson going down a battle rating. Guys, isn't the Lanchester good enough? Like, why? I mean, I guess it's just to make the M1A1 Thompson more worth using rather than just skipping this gun and using the 1928A1, but still though. Sten Mark II, Austin Mark 1 going down to battle rating 1. I mean, it shouldn't really be a surprise. The Sten Mark II that you get for free is in battle rating 1, so makes no sense that this thing is in battle rating 2. Battle Pass M2A1 carbine, reduce recoil fix. Okay, definitely worth it because I remember testing this gun out and my god man, the recoil on this thing is just awful. Founders M2 Hide, going down to battle rating 1. Isn't the M2 Hide the 45 ACP submachine gun? Yeah, I haven't really heard good things about it. Anyway, moving on, Japan, Type 4 rifle going down to battle rating 3. Yes, Darkflow, thank you! Why is this thing in battle rating 4? It really makes no sense. Type Offsuit rifle going down to battle rating 2. Yes, again! Thank you for doing this! Because this makes no sense to be on par with the SVT-38 or the M1 Garen. It's really not. And Type 100 rifle going down to battle rating 1. I mean, yeah, it shouldn't really be a surprise because the Japanese bolt action rifles don't exactly have the best insights. So yeah, this is my thoughts on the coming battle rating changes. I'm definitely happy with some of them, and not so happy with some others as well. Like, why is the Panzer 3N going up to battle rating 3? Just why? But yes, Japanese semi-automatic rifle definitely deserves to go down a battle rating. But yeah, I mean, right now the only thing I can think about now is just let the whole thing play out, because it's not like Darkflow is going to make any differences in the coming changes either way, so... And then now, of course, we're gonna talk about the coming update because while I'm here, why the hell not? If I'll be honest though, I'm not exactly sure why adding jets is a good idea. I don't think the map really accommodates jet gameplay all too well, and secondly, not all nations has jets. So in the end, it's more or less like just Darkflow trying to stretch the timing to the point where the Soviets are getting a jet that didn't really exist during World War II. But yeah, I guess at this point, Darkflow got nothing else better to add, so it's not like I could ask Darkflow to add even more. But either way, apart from the jets that is coming, there's also other things that is being added to the game as well. Like Germany getting the MG81, another aircraft machine gun that the infantry is going to use to replace the MG15. I swear to God, the MG15 really cannot catch a break. And if I'll be perfectly honest, compared to the other German machine guns you use, MG81 stands out with even higher rate of fire, 1760 rounds per minute. Unless you tell me that this thing is coming with a 200 round belt, I don't think people are going to use it. There's a reason why nobody is using the MG15. At least not nearly as much as the MG42 100 rounds. Then USA is getting their own version of the Ampolomet. Okay, so Japan is getting a better anti-tank rocket launcher. The Western Allies are really not happy about this. Of which I will ask them, why would you think so? But yeah, in a more serious note though, Japan is definitely struggling in terms of anti-tank rocket launchers because their only rocket launcher options are either a rocket launcher that doesn't have iron sights and is only good in short ranges, or a rocket launcher that struggles to pen a Sherman tank from the front. So those are the only two options. And before you guys say, "Oh Jim, I saw you take out the Super Pershing with the Type 5 rocket launcher." My guy, that Super Pershing was being an idiot. That's how I managed to destroy that Super Pershing, okay? Most of the time I destroy Shermans is because the player behind the wheel is an absolute idiot. And I'm sure most of you Western allies can agree. Either they are playing super aggressively, or they are showing you their full broadsides. Or maybe the game moved up and they're not really pulling back. Basically asking to be overwhelmed, so yeah. Soviet Union getting the Fedorov rifle, low tier semi-automatic rifle. I have a feeling that nobody is going to use this. I mean, look at the other nations that has a low tier semi-automatic rifle. You know, Germany with the Armageddon Mod 39, Japan with the Type A rifle, and coming soon the Type also, USA with the M1 carbine. A lot of players actually prefer to use bolt action rifles over the low tier semi-automatic rifle because the low tier semi-automatic rifle have a lot of compromises in order to be that low of a battle rating. And like lower damage, low round velocity, incredibly small magazine. I mean, here you can see it's going to have 5 round magazine. Like sure it has the damage and the rate of fire, but something tells me that using it is not going to be very pleasant. And then as well coming soon in battle rating 2, there's a new sound machine gun which I would say why? I mean it has a much higher rate of fire than the PPS 43, but if that's the case then why didn't you just invest in the PPSH 41 Obrez? And if you're moving up a tier, why didn't you just invest in the full-size PPSH 41? But yeah, more or less like what I gotta say about the coming update. I'm not too particularly fond of some of the stuff that is being added. I mean, the only thing that I say is worth it is the German rocket launcher for Japan faction as well as the Fedorov rifle because, you know, I use the low-tier semi-automatic rifle a lot, so why not? But all in all, coming update really makes me say like Darkflow. At this point, I would tell you to just expand forward. Like, forget trying to make the game entirely World War II. Like, instead of World War II, just have Cold War era and Modern Warfare, just as a way to not make this into War Thunder. You know, people want to play Cold War or Modern Warfare, and they definitely do not want to grind World War II stuff first. Try to like have like separate campaigns or something, so that you can have World War II, Cold War era, and Modern Warfare. You want to play Modern Warfare, you can play Modern Warfare. You want to play Cold War, you can play Cold War. But yeah, my point is, just expand forward. There's really nothing much to add to the game in terms of World War II at this point. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this video, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.